these videos feel gradually weirder to make. I started just because of the way other people described them that watched these videos. They started feeling more like journal entries, and that made things feel slightly better over time. But it started feeling weirder the more I posted these because then I started getting less people seeing them and less people commenting, and people that did were like completely new people, and it made it feel like there was no point in doing this anymore. People weren't seeing this anymore. Now I was just frequently uploading things no one's gonna bother to watch anyways, or like really care about, so it makes it feel like I'm just doing this to upload things, and that's not why I'm doing it at all. It's the exact opposite, but I feel like it's just giving off that effect because of how much more frequently I'm doing this stuff. Because stuff keeps happening. I just have like a lot to talk about. I just like getting things off my chest when I have too much to think about. Lord knows. It goes terrible when I go a long time not telling people about things, but I can't tell people everything. But where's my phone? So yeah, the more often things start happening and the more generalized things become, the less I'll start posting. I'm not gonna keep doing this. There will be some sort of hiatus. This might just fully end eventually in the future. It has to stop eventually. I'm not gonna do this like. I wasn't planning on doing this past high school. Honestly, I wasn't even sure I was gonna do it past next year or even this year. But this year's coming to a close, so I don't have promises about that. I'll go find some. Um, I don't really like gossip at all because I know that stuff can get out of hand pretty badly, and it's always gonna go in the, it's like blow up in the face of whoever was telling it. So I don't really like talking about people a lot, so I don't do the videos a lot in case people find this channel because it wouldn't be that hard to find. There's a lot of snow out there now. There's too many people out there. Um, and I don't really talk about it to other people I know because that's terrible. So just this once, I really want to talk about this. It's a strange thing. There's some people that I hate when I'll really dislike a person, but everyone loves that person. And I feel like the more I hate someone else or just dislike them, the more I feel bad about myself because like I don't want to be that type of person hating another person. I always lived by the thought that I don't truly hate anyone or anything. And that gradually became less and less true. So I feel it. Also, I remember I was talking about how like my theater teacher seems to really like me now because he told me that he was trying to give me big roles here in drama 3 so that I wouldn't be given small roles in drama 4 because he really wants me to get into drama 4 now, like the big class, and I could possibly get into that next year. And I really liked hearing that. It was said directly before the very last performance of last semester because we did it like 2 or 3 nights in a row. No, we did 2 nights and a day show. That's what it was. Yeah. The thing that never even struck my mind was the fact that I got so many complaints from everyone in the entire class and the teacher constantly through the entire time we rehearsed that. So when I look back on it, it feels really weird. I was even describing like every single day, I would exit first block drama 3 and finish with that rehearsal, go straight into second block, and then one of my friends is there like, "What happened today?" Because I keep telling them everything that happens that very day, and it's so much they start to genuinely dislike my class and the people in it without having ever met them, thinking these are bad people. This does not sound good for you. Like they felt really bad for me by that point because of all the stuff that was happening through that. Like I felt so terrible in that class. Like everyone hated me, and I was ruining everything for everyone because I didn't know what I was doing. Because I was like the least experienced one in there. But here's the thing: since the very beginning, since the moment I joined, even though from the moment I joined, I always thought there was something wrong with how I was doing things. Because I auditioned at the very same, like literally with my other friend. We were literally a pair the entire time through last year. The teacher noticed that. Other people started noticing it. We auditioned together because of it. Like, he scheduled us together. So, because that person was more experienced and like way better than I was, it always felt bad. Like, something wasn't good with how I was doing everything. So it was like that from the very beginning, and I always felt that. And yet, from the very beginning, there was always something with me. Like, teacher always seems like he saw something in me, my theater teacher. Like, every single time, like, we would do 2 plays every performance, and every time I was cast in both. I remember literally, very first performance, he said the people that were getting in the serious play are going to be are seemingly some really good people he likes that could potentially get into drama 4 in the future. I was cast in the serious play and the comedy. I was both. Really important stuff. So and like ever since then I've been getting in both plays. So gradually I've started feeling more and more like he sees something in me. And when he said that thing about trying to give me big roles for drama 3, so I wasn't in small roles in drama 4, that reminded me of one of the actors in drama 3 when I was a freshman. She was a sophomore, and she started gradually getting like better and better roles every time, to the point where the very last one we did, she was like the main character who made it out in the very end. In like one of the plays. And so that's what I expected, because directly after that she got into drama 4. Like this year, last semester she was in drama 4. This semester, still in drama 4, but is also one of the assistant directors in drama 3. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting get a big role like her and then get into drama 4, but it's like a lot has changed from just now from what's going on, and just like that was really bad what happened that last perform. But now we just got our scripts. I really don't like my character that much. That's all I'll say. I'm cast in one play as like a sort of minor character. It's weird because like there's a lot of minor characters in this one. This one is one of those characters that doesn't get to say much and is just there through the whole thing. I don't really like it, but I'm trying not to complain because he hates when people complain about their role. I also don't think I'd play the role very good. I'm not very good at being a kid. Or singing in front of a bunch of people. I have to sing a few things a few times. And generally, I feel like there was like a big downgrade in this role, and I'm thinking, did I upset him in some sort of way? I don't know. Something feels wrong. And that person who got into drama 4 that is now one of the assistant directors, I've not gotten a good vibe from her. I felt like the entirety of freshman year, she just hated me and resented me for some reason. You know what she did? She told my best friend at the time, on multiple occasions directly in front of me, that they were her favorite. out of like the entire theater department. Said that several times. My friend didn't even think about the fact that I was like watching the whole time, what that could mean. Just like loved hearing that constantly, and I just always hear that. I'm just like, I'm here too. Because it was just the fact that I was like deliberately being told this, like, or being shown this, and then just ignore it the entire time as it's happening. And I didn't like it. You could, at the very least, do it when I'm not there, you know? And I hate it. To the point, literally, one time they did that, and then turned to me and was like, oh, you're there too, I guess. That was completely unnecessary. I hated that. And you know what they did the next year? This year, last semester, multiple times. She walked up to me, she's like, you are my favorite person in the entire theater department. Don't tell anyone that. You are my fave. The very beginning, that felt so weird, so fucking two-faced, you know? I did not know what to feel about that. I felt the entire time I was being manipulated or something from that. Like, who does that? So I always got weird vibes from, and I don't like how constantly, like, they formed a group chat and they were trying to get like their last response every single time and reply to everything. And they, in general, throughout theater, they keep trying to butt in and trying to like add themselves to everything, and like I feel like they definitely have like a really high sense of status and importance compared to everyone else, and they feel like everyone needs to listen to them and they need to be in charge or something, and so they keep butting in when they don't need to, and they keep trying to take charge, and I really hate it. It feels so weird. I don't like it. I don't like people like that. They're just annoying in general. She also keeps trying to add herself into every single situation and conversation that's like nearby her when she's not part of it at all, and it feels really weird, and they usually try not to indulge in that. But sometimes you can. It just has to happen. So yeah, it's really weird. And this next story, I really, it's because of the amount of people in this next story, it's easy easier to just give them names than to just constantly say pronouns, because like he did that, but like I've given nicknames to a lot of my friends that I just say on this channel, so I don't have to use anyone's real name. I don't think that's a good idea. You can look back in these videos to figure out who I'm talking about. You can look back on just things from my camera roll of these people where I literally put their nicknames instead of their real names, and you'll figure out who they are. I'm not doing that. So what I can do, however, like friend A, B, and C. Yeah. So I'm gonna just do that. That's the easiest workaround. So it's theater games over there, and I'm I've recently been getting like really close with this one friend, friend C. Really good friend of mine, to the point where like, you know, there was a lot of, it's easier if you like, I guess a lot of people watching this wouldn't pay attention. I must still say one of the nicknames, because like this person has been very on and off through a lot of these videos. You'll get the vibe if you know who I'm talking about. Most likely you won't though. I remember I nicknamed one of my friends Crab in one of these videos. That was just because I needed something off the top of my head. Different names for them throughout different videos, so I've had very on and off friendship with Crab though. Every once in a while it's fine, every once in a while I'm upset with them, every once in a while we're upset with each other, and it just it feels like it's not that. And it's so weird. And multiple times I feel like we've like resolved any sort of misunderstanding multiple times, which really shouldn't have to happen multiple times. And then after that, I try to force myself not to be upset with this person. But it's like, it's so difficult because stuff keeps happening. So, so, been, well, I thought one of my closest friends that I had met through high school was Crab. Gradually, that started being less the case. But their really good friend, friend C, I'd been getting really close with throughout this year. But I enter theater games and I see friend A is sitting there, like the very first seat. He doesn't show up all the time, so that was pretty cool. Like that. Because like I never know when he's gonna show up. It just happens sometimes. So yeah, friend A is there, really cool. I sit next to him, and then friend C shows up, and then friend C is just like, "Hey, I sit there," because like completely not even noticing. Friend C does sit in that seat like every single time we do theater games and script reading things like that. And like, I don't really think anything of this situation, but friend A is like, it's just a seat. It's not that deep. Which, okay, I don't really mind hearing him say that. He was very calm about it too. Sometimes he's not even calm about some of these things, but this one he really was. He wasn't upset at all. And then friend C is just like, I sit there for a reason, which entirely fair. So I'm not upset at either of them. So I tell friend A, hey, just sit in this other seat right next to me. Works perfectly fine. It's perfect for this scenario. But then, not even realizing, Crab was in the row directly behind us. It's like, I say that, and friend A is about to get up, and Crab just says, hey, get up. says his name, obviously. Not his real name, though. I gave him a nickname, and a lot of people started using it after I called him that for a while, so it's fun. And Crab used it there. And there's this really weird thing with Crab where Crab will say someone's like what is now someone's like nickname or preferred name or something like that, and suddenly it just feels weird now. It gives you a weird feeling. So it felt weird hearing it in that moment, and I bet it definitely felt weird for friend A. I even asked him about it later that day, and he's very mixed on anyone calling him that. Actually, he's fine with me saying it, but the more people actually saying it, he's kind of mixed on that, which not a lot of people call him that. It's really just like people we both are fairly close with. But yeah, I feel like it was really weird how Crab just inserted himself into this whole thing, and I felt it felt really weird, the sort of scenario. I didn't like how he said that, and I didn't like how he just randomly inserted himself in it. And he keeps trying to act very close with Frenzy, which is entirely fair. They've been friends for a while. They've been friends since like seventh grade or something. They're very close. They know more about each other than anyone else does about either of them. But it was really weird, and I feel like he gets very protective over friend C. It's really, it's strange. And it's like, friend C is a very, um, it's like a very apologetic, sensitive person. To like, friend A is already is like now upset at Crab just doing that. Gets in the next seat like he was already going to do, and friend C decides that this whole situation just became too much, and sat on the entire other end of the row, no longer wanting to really be nearest. And the thing is, in a lot of cases, I would have gone up to friend C because like I know that stuff goes on with them. things are tough for them, and they go through a lot. So like, a lot of times I do like to check up on them, and if they try not to say anything, like they just keep to themselves, then I'll back off. They want to think by themselves. That's perfectly fine. I understand that fully. So usually that's how it goes. However, whenever Crab is nearby, I don't at all. I know it's gonna go terribly wrong because every single time I've ever tried to check up on C while Crab was nearby, he told me off for it every single time, and then immediately started checking up on C. It was like he would get really, like, he seemed upset at me every single time, like I was doing something wrong. I'm checking up on my friend. I can do that. And the thing is, it's not even just because C goes through a lot of stuff. I do as well. He's never been like that before. Literally. Crab told me last year, anytime I consider, where'd it go? Anytime I, consider taking one of these, or this again, in case anyone's listening to that door. Being very vague. Anytime that happens again, call him immediately. The thing is, a lot of the time, I would nearly not do it, but I'd feel bad after hearing that and indulging again, so I called him every time. But when there was a really weird on and off, but like really rough patch between us two over summer, I had to build up the courage to actually call him after I that again. And he was so laid back about it, like unconcerned. He really didn't care. And it was such a weird feeling. I hated that, honestly. I hated telling him what was going on during that. So that was the last time I ever called him about it. I still did it a few more times before I got myself off of that. I had to help myself get out of that habit after a while, and it's not visible anymore. So, progress. I haven't done it in like months. So, that's good. Didn't tell him about any of the other times though. He has no idea. That's not true, actually. I do remember one of those times when it was me, Crab, and C, and we were getting over those misunderstandings. Really big talk that I talked about in another one of these videos. I did tell him about that, how, like, he was so chilled about it that I never called him again after that. So it's nothing like that. It's specifically something to do with him and C. It's really weird. But it's like, they're my friend as well. I get to talk to them if I think there's something wrong. Hell, they told me to, they told me to back off as I was about to get up and leave. Because I realized, they weren't saying anything. They want to be by themselves. So I really just do not want to deal with that anymore. So I don't go up to C anymore when Crab is nearby. But yeah, so C goes to the other end of the row. I stay where I am with friend A, and Crab goes over to C. And now I'm listening to friend A because now he's actually upset. We're talking about how, like, neither of them were upset at each other. A and C were not upset at each other at all. They were both fairly calm about it. Like, C was just stating, like, they would prefer to be in there as, like, shut off and, like, shy as they were acting, saying it. They still weren't that upset. It was perfectly fine. Nothing too dramatic. And even friend A wasn't that upset. They were just saying. So, and it wasn't until Crab inserted himself in the whole situation. And even A was like about how for once he wasn't raising his voice or like yelling at anyone about this stuff. As we're talking about this, I hear Crab and C talking to each other about it. And like C feels really bad for that whole situation. Like it was all their fault because they feel that way a lot. They always feel like whenever something is mildly wrong, they did something wrong and all of it is their fault. So I always have to tell them, don't apologize. You don't need to do that anymore. It's all fine. It's not that it's not your fault. It's just there was nothing bad in the first place. There's nothing to apologize. Come on, don't be so hard on yourself. I have to tell them that all the time. You know. So in this scenario, C feels bad, like they did something wrong, like she's like, I didn't want this whole thing to be a big deal. You know, Krabs says. He says, well, you were making it a big deal. That's a very uncomforting thing to say with such a the comforting tone he used. I didn't even know what to feel about that. So I'm literally telling A, what does he mean? They were making it a big deal. They they really weren't. Neither of you two were making it a big deal. It wasn't until Krabs stepped in. So yeah. I don't even remember what day that was. That was either a Thursday or a Friday. Either yesterday or the day before that. I truly don't remember. I could think, was that a script reading day or a theater games day? I still have no idea. Because first script reading, it's me, C, and Suds were sitting there for theater games together. And then after that, this was script reading. This was Thursday. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Crab does that a lot. Like, suddenly inserts himself into things and tries to act in charge. And I think about it a lot. Like, he's trying to, like, make everything more organized and stabilized. And some, it's like, he acts like a parent sometimes. It's the weird thing. Even if it's not like a kid. Because we used to go to, like, the same after school program, and then I stopped. I stopped being able to go. And my mother blames the program instead of herself because she never blames herself, saying, they wanted me out of there. My band wanted me to leave, and the program that supported our band wanted me gone. And all of us in some sort of way. No! But yeah. I have a lot to talk about that, but I deliberately chose not to talk about any of the band stuff, even though there's a lot more stuff going on now. I'm making the effort not to talk about it. Too many videos. But yeah, Crab will always like try to take charge of something and like insert himself into a random situation or like tell people what to do or even tell them what to do as they're doing it. I swear there was a really weird thing where I told them, like, where they asked me if I want to tell the band, like, because I wasn't able to show up for the very first day of like a very important series of rehearsals for important performance thing. I wasn't able to show up. Crab told them like if, if they like if I wanted them to know about like he called what I'd prefer to go by name stuff. And so after that, I hear that name get used more often, and it's nice hearing it from the band. But then hearing it from Crab, it felt really weird every time he said it, and suddenly it felt less natural, because the tone he used around me during that entire time was so weird that it felt the name not feel right. You can use a person's nickname or a preferred name in when you're being serious, but like the way he did it, it felt wrong every time. 30-minute video, wow. Um, but I remember that was during the very on and off through the summer. Hadn't seen him for a while and it felt weird, and then things were terrible through that series of rehearsals. I think I made a video specifically about that after it all happened. Or maybe like while it was happening. There was a lot going on there. That was a terrible time. I really don't like thinking about that. But I try not to get upset at him. He doesn't even realize that I am. Hell, I hate the idea of like feeling upset at someone and then immediately after that feeling like there's nothing wrong at all and just talking to them like normal about stuff when I feel like talking to someone. It just feels wrong, you know? When I actually think about that, suddenly I feel shameful for it. It's a terrible feeling. It's like the more I hate another person, the more I hate myself for it too, and I just equally, and it feels really weird. Like there's something wrong with me specifically feeling that way about around like anyone. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I just here's the thing: both the person in that first story and Crab, everyone in the theater department, and even outside of it, who were just like no people in the theater department, similar people. Everyone that knows these people, they love them. They see nothing wrong with them at all. I hate how like everyone loves these people, and I see it's just like there's so much wrong that no one notices or cares to notice. That if I were to ever say it like that, I'd sound insane. Yeah, that's all. I should go to bed now. Probably.